Are you sick of being anxious, stressed, and stuck in your own thoughts? What if the ideas you won't let go of are keeping you from finding inner peace? The famous warrior Miyamoto Musashi was good at both fighting and thinking. We will talk about 9 beliefs that are keeping you from having true inner peace in this video. Musashi's wisdom can help you break free. Lesson 1. I need to be in control of everything. Control is not real. A lot of people think that they will be safe, successful, and happy if they can control everything around them. But Musashi knew that trying to control everything in life only makes things worse and causes anger. Musashi teaches how important it is to be flexible in the Book of 5 Rings. He thought that a fighter should adapt to the situation, like water does when it molds itself to its container. You will suffer if you fight change. Moving with the flow of life, on the other hand, gives you strength and peace. You will feel stressed when you think you need to be in charge of everything. The truth is that you can only control what you do and how you respond. Instead of fighting what you can't change, accept doubt. Know that not everything will go as planned, and that's okay. Getting mental peace isn't about being in charge of everything, but about being in charge of your thoughts. Musashi didn't care about how his life turned out. He trained hard, but he knew that war could go in any direction. He knew that planning, not control, is what leads to real mastery. In life, it's the same. You can get ready, but you also need to trust the process. Do not try to manage every part of your life. This will help you achieve freedom and peace. Lesson 2. If I ignore my problems, they will go away. Lots of people try to avoid their problems because they think they will go away. But Musashi shows us that the way of a real fighter is to face problems head-on. Ignoring problems doesn't make them go away. Instead, they get worse in the dark. It is often safer to avoid an enemy in fight than to face them. In life, the same rule applies. Avoiding problems, like unresolved conflicts, mental pain, or hard choices, will only cause more pain in the long run. Being brave enough to face them is the only way to find real peace. Direct engagement is important in Musashi's worldview. He didn't run away from problems. Instead, he studied them, changed how they worked, and got past them. In his 21 rules for living, called Dakodo, he tells us to have a firm mind when facing the truths of life. This means dealing with problems in a clear and strong way instead of acting like they don't exist. If something in your life is making you feel bad, you should recognize it. Bring it to the light, whether it's a bad habit, a bad relationship, or an unsolved fear. Face it, figure it out, and do something about it. This is the only way to be at peace with yourself for good. Lesson 3. Success equals happiness. A lot of people think that being successful will make them happy and at peace. But Musashi says not to get attached to benefits from outside sources. As a swordsman, he traveled around and turned down wealth and comfort in order to gain mastery and knowledge. If your happiness rests on your success, it's not stable. There is nothing inside you that will make you happy if you think that having more money, a better job, or more praise will make you happy. True happiness comes from controlling your thoughts and feelings, not from getting things from other people. It is important to focus on the method rather than the result, as Musashi says. Warrior doesn't just fight to win, he fights to grow, become more disciplined, and get better. In life, it's the same. If you focus on getting better every day instead of being obsessed with success, you will find happiness on its own. Give up the idea that being successful will make you happy. Instead, work on being thankful, strong, and self-disciplined. These traits will give you more peace of mind than any accomplishment ever could. Lesson 4. I must always be right. One of the biggest things that gets in the way of inner peace is the need to always be right. People who fight a lot don't want to give up, and they think that admitting mistakes is a sign of weakness. But Miyamoto Musashi, one of the best samurai warriors ever, knew that being strong doesn't mean always being right. It means being willing to learn and grow. For Musashi, fights were not just about who was stronger, they were also about how smart, strategic, and flexible you were. He understood that a mind that was set in its ways was weak. Warriors would die if they wouldn't change their strategies or admit when they were wrong in battle. In the same way, if you hold on too tightly to your beliefs and fail to see things from other people's points of view, you end up in unnecessary conflict and pain. Giving up the need to be right doesn't mean giving up what you believe. It means being humble enough to know that you don't always know everything. People can listen, learn, and grow when they stop seeing differences as fights to win. You also stop the stress that comes from having to protect your ego all the time. Musashi thought that you should carefully watch everything, be open to new information, and change how you do things when you need to. He was able to win many duels and improve his way of life by thinking this way. You can let go of the need to be right all the time and live a life of peace, clarity, and true understanding if you accept this same knowledge. Lesson 5. I am defined by my past. A lot of people feel heavy because they think their mistakes, failures, or painful events make them who they are. This idea locks you up in a prison of regret, shame, and self-doubt, where it's almost impossible to find peace. Musashi, on the other hand, shows us that the past is not a sentence that lasts a lifetime. It is a lesson. Musashi lost loved ones, went through hard times, and fought many fights, but he never let his past control his future. He thought that a real fighter was always changing, always learning, and never stuck in the mistakes of the past. It says in Dakodo, The Way of Walking Alone, do not regret what you have done. It's important to learn how to accept yourself. You can't change the past with regret, but it does stop you from going on. You are letting old hurts shape who you are if you think your past defines you. You might have messed up, failed at something important, or been in a lot of pain. But these times don't make you who you are. They're just experiences. How you choose to live today is the only thing that makes you unique. Musashi tells us to live in the present and work on making ourselves better. Don't let your past hold you back. Instead, use it as a moving stone. Keep your past events in mind, but don't think about them too much. When you let go of the weight of yesterday and start moving forward with clarity, strength, and purpose, you will find true inner peace. Lesson 6. I should always put others first. A lot of people think that putting others before themselves is the best thing you can do. They feel bad about putting their own needs first, so they often give up their own health to make other people happy. Even though being kind and generous are good things, Miyamoto Musashi says that a fighter must first get stronger before he can help others. Musashi believed in being able to take care of himself. He knew that a fighter who was weak or tired could not fight well, just like someone who is tired can't really help those around them. You will burn out if you always put other people first and ignore your own health, dreams, and mental peace. If the cup is empty, you can't pour from it. To be truly balanced, you need to know when to give and when to take care of your own energy. Musashi thought that people had to be disciplined and in charge of themselves before they could lead or guide others. He lived alone for years and worked out his body and mind so that he could be strong on his road. Because he put other people before himself, he would not have become the famous swordsman and teacher we admire today. Giving up the idea that you have to put other people before yourself doesn't mean you're becoming selfish. It means being aware that your health is also important. That's right. Taking care of your body, mind, and emotions makes you better able to help and inspire other people in a useful way. Set limits, put your growth first, and look out for your inner happiness. Then you can really give from a strong place. Lesson 7. I have to be liked by everyone. Wanting everyone to like you is a heavy burden that only causes stress and sadness. A lot of people spend their whole lives trying to please others and are always changing how they act to meet their needs. One of the best samurai warriors in history, Miyamoto Musashi, knew that true inner peace comes from accepting yourself, not from what other people think. Dakodo, which translates to the way of walking alone, was Musashi's own set of rules for living. He wasn't interested in how other people felt about him. He paid attention to his road, his mastery, and the truth. This is a very important lesson for people who need to be liked a lot. It doesn't matter how nice, successful, or honest you are, not everyone will like you. That's okay. People's thoughts are shaped by their own views, experiences, and feelings of insecurity. You can't change how other people see you, but you can change how much their thoughts affect you. Musashi says that a fighter should not be distracted by things going on around them, like praise or criticism. You will never be truly free if you live to please other people. Focus on being honest, living by your beliefs, and being true to yourself instead. It's freeing for the mind to let go of the need to be liked. When you stop thinking about what other people think of you, you feel more confident, clear, and at peace. Your own approval is the only one that really counts. Lesson 8. Failure is the end. When people fail, they often think that they should stop, that they are not good enough, or that they should give up. But Miyamoto Musashi, the samurai who had never lost, thought that failing was an important part of getting better. In fact, as a teacher, he looked forward to failure. We can learn from Musashi's theory that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a step on the way to success. It is important to learn from every loss, mistake, and failure. Failure is not the problem. What's wrong is how we handle it. You will stay stuck in mediocrity if you think failure is the end. You will avoid difficulties and be afraid to take risks. But if you see each loss as a chance to get better, you will get stronger over time. People who were stronger, faster, and smarter than Musashi fought him in fight. But he didn't let short-term losses define who he was. He instead looked at what he did wrong, changed his plan, and got better. With this attitude, he was able to improve his skills until they were unbeatable. In life, the same rule applies. Failure is never the end unless you decide to give up. This is true whether you fail at work, relationships, or personal goals. Failure is a chance to learn, change, and get better the next time. Give up the fear of failing and see it as a necessary part of growth. This will bring you inner peace. A real hero doesn't give up. He changes, learns, and re-emerges. Lesson 9. I'll be happy when everything is perfect. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that they can only be happy when everything in their life is great. With this way of thinking, your happiness is far away, in the future, and you can never get there. But Miyamoto Musashi knew something very important about life. Beauty is a lie. Through his work as a swordsman and a philosopher, Musashi learned that life is messy, uncertain, and always changing. He did not wait for the ideal time to fight his wars or learn from his mistakes. He instead focused on mastering the present moment because he knew that taking life as it is, not how we want it to be, is the only way to find true peace and happiness. We miss out on the beauty of life when we think that everything has to be perfect before we can be happy. These ways of thinking only make things worse, whether you're looking for the perfect job, the perfect relationship, or the perfect place to live. There are always flaws in situations, no matter how well they are planned. Musashi's wise words teach us to accept our flaws. He knew that he could grow by taking on challenges and learning from them, just like he did from every fight, win or lose. In flaws in life, we find the things that make us who we are, teach us, and give our lives value. If you let go of this attitude, you will no longer be stuck trying to reach an impossible goal. To be happy, you have to live in the present, enjoy the trip, and find peace in the midst of chaos. When you stop looking for things to be perfect, you can live a life full of real happiness, peace, and love.